I'm Andy with Competitive Cyclist, and this is a CycleOps Joule 2.0. Training with power has come a long way since Greg LeMond showed up with an SRM on his bike in the early 90s. And in just the past 5 years, we've gone from clunky, heavy proprietary systems with jumbles of wires zip tied to our down tubes to wireless systems that can send data to any computer head that is A&T Plus compatible. And through the evolution of programs like Cycling Peaks, we've gained the ability to analyze that data and use it to make our training time more efficient. However, as we've become more reliant on this data to streamline our training, there's been a growing disconnect between the numbers we're able to see on the bike and then later on our computers at home. That's where the Joule comes in. It closes the gap between post-ride analysis software and on-the-bike training. Here's what I mean. Most power reading head units will give you the typical stuff: current power, average and max power, and usually some 30 and 60-second averages are thrown in for good measure. If you want more, you have to wait until you get home and plug into your computer. But with the Joule, you can take a deep data dive right in your driveway. Joule's main screen, or dashboard, gives you all of the standard info via 6 fields that you can rotate 3 pieces of data through by pressing on the joystick. What you put in those fields is totally up to you, and a sideways bump on the joystick easily moves you from field to field. Now, when you push the mode button, the Joule starts to show off a bit. The first of 6 new screens, Power Detail, shows you the numbers from the ride you just finished on the left, and a running average of your power data for the past 2, 4, and 8 weeks, as well as the past 6 and 12 months. So you can literally see how much you're improving week over week as you're recovering between hill repeats. The next screen is entitled Work, and it provides the same 2-column view of your kilojoule output, again, current and a running average, which you can preset. The third screen, Peak Power, shows your peak power for 5, 30, and 60 seconds, as well as 1, 5, 20, 30, 40, and 60-minute averages. Following this screen is Time and Power Zones, which gives you a view in time and percentages of the time you spent in Power Zones 1 through 6. The next screen gives you 4 pieces of climbing data: feet gained, average grade, feet lost, and vertical speed. But it's the next to last screen that really sets the Joule apart from its competition. This one is called Surges. The Surges screen shows you in watts per kilogram basically how much you surged out of your comfort zone during a training ride or race. So it allows you to pinpoint your weaknesses with near surgical accuracy and specify your training to meet that workload in the next race or event. So if you got dropped by the brake in your last crit, you'll be able to see exactly what your power data looked like at that moment and make adjustments to your training that'll keep you in the break next time. No other training software offers the surge feature, and for the serious racer, it's the single feature of the Joule that separates it from the pack when you're choosing which head unit to mate with your Power Tap or your new Quark. Now, this is still the first generation of the Joule, so there are a few quirks. Namely, the overall size and shape of the unit, it's a bit big and a little too boxy, and the size of the fields on the display. Unless you've got the fields on the dashboard committed to memory, it's a bit difficult to tell if you're looking at the current, max, or average numbers. And the joystick is still a little vague and easy to bump it to the left or right when you meant to push it down. I think some fumble-proof buttons on the sides, like the Garmin 500s, combined with maybe a larger font on the screen, would make on-the-fly navigation much easier. But overall, I must say that for the serious bike racer who doesn't want to leave a single competitive edge on the table, the Joule is simply a no-brainer. It's got gobs of memory, more onboard data than the space shuttle, and it's as user-friendly as an iPhone or a MacBook. And syncing it up with your power meter, all of your A&T Plus accessories, it's a snap. I tested this unit separately with a Quark and a Power Tap, and it never ever took me more than 2 or 3 minutes to get all of the accessories to talk to the Joule. If you have any questions about the Joule, please feel free to give us a call or send an email to sales@competitivecyclist.com.